Alright, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from Street Scores, and I feel like this news kind of flew under the radar, but I think it's pretty big, especially to me. I've been waiting for Cameron Curl news for forever, and apparently all the way back in March 20th, John Com replied to somebody's tweet. Whatever the tweet was, it's been deleted, but John Com replied directly to the tweet and said, "Definite desire here to extend Cameron Curl. If they don't do it until late spring, could well be one of the first things for the new owner to handle." So it sounds like it's definitely a priority for the Commanders to get it done, and they may be waiting until the team is sold for it to get done. But ultimately, if they can, they want to get it done even before the team is sold, because when in doubt, they can delay the Cameron Curl contract just like they did with every outside free agent we signed, everybody we re-signed, Deron Payne, Danny Johnson, all of these guys. They're not getting paid till May anyway, which is very rare. Not something that happens very often in the NFL where guys get signed in March and don't get paid until May. That's completely because they're waiting for the new owner to take over that bill. So that is great news to me. Of course, he hasn't been extended yet, so we can't celebrate too much, but the fact that it is a priority for the Commanders to get that done as soon as possible, preferably before we even get to the regular season, that's huge news, man. I'm surprised that didn't break the internet. So of course, I want to dive into this video. Rico of Street Scores, we got to look at everything through an analytical lens. Should we go ahead and extend Cameron Curl this offseason? Should we wait till next season? And why, if we should extend him, what has he done to deserve such an extension? I want to take a look at a lot of his advanced stats, a lot of his grades, a lot of the reasons why I feel like we should. But before we dive into all of that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell next to the subscription button so you get notification immediately. And every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one, make sure you pull up every Sunday for the live call-in show. Just like today, we had one for about 2 hours. Everybody called in, gave their opinions on everything: Sam Howell, Lamar Jackson, free agency, draft sleepers, late round guys, all of that type of stuff. Who should we take in the first round? Make sure y'all pull up on Sundays for those live streams. It may not be every Sunday because I end up being busy, end up being somewhere, but I'm gonna let y'all know, and I try to schedule it ahead of time so y'all can already be aware of it before it happens. But a lot of content coming for y'all. Again, I'm trying to do like 2 videos a day because I have so many things to talk about. So stay tuned. Without further ado, let's get it. Alright, so again, from John Com, one of the most trustworthy Washington Commanders sources doing it. He's not one of those guys that tries to be early. It's not one of those guys that tries to like put opinions out there. He's literally telling you from a direct source from Ron Rivera or somebody close to the organization what they're doing, what they have done, what they're trying to do, all of that type of stuff. And again, he said there is a definitive desire to extend Cameron Curl. They want to do it before late spring, but if they end up waiting till late spring, the new owner will have to take the bill. But if it were up to Ron Rivera and company, it sounds like Cameron Curl would already have a long-term extension, and they just want the new owners to just go ahead and come in and buy the team so we can just go ahead and knock that out as well. Of course, I would love it if we changed ownership before the draft, but I doubt that's going to happen. But can we just hurry up and get this going, first of all, so we can go ahead and fix all of those issues that we had? Y'all saw the free agency little grades and stuff like that, like facilities, how the team treats players' families, travel accommodations, all of that type of stuff. We were like dead last in most of those categories, so I can't wait for a new owner to come in and fix that as well, because maybe that helps us in the third wave of free agency to potentially get a guy that's really talented for less money than he would be willing to take somewhere else. You never know. And just period, just bring in a new guy to make, I think Terry McLaurin and Jonathan Allen and all of those guys deserve better facilities just in general, not just improving the facilities to make a sale to outside free agents that may want to come here, but also the guys that are here deserve better, bruh. Dead last in everything but team trainers is like atrocious. These guys deserve better. So again, I can't wait to change owners, even just for that, but also us not having a new owner yet is also delaying things like this Cameron Curl extension, which is my main point I just had to kind of bring back and wrap up. But let's take a look at some advanced statistics from Cameron Curl, man, because y'all gotta stop playing with him, bruh. Last season, he posted top 10 grades as a run defender with an 80.5 grade from Pro Football Focus, and in coverage with an 80.8 and 22, both career highs. So he was top 10 in both run defense and coverage. Not a lot of safeties can say that. Some safeties are better in run defense, some are better in coverage. Cameron Curl is one of the very few guys that's graded both. top 10 at the very least at both. And remember, a few months ago, we were hearing some rumors that Cameron Curl was asking for a ridiculous amount of money. I'm hoping that's not true. It was like his dad that came out and said it. I doubt it, because the money that he was reportedly asking for was just like best, highest paid safety money of all time by far. It was like more than Jamal Adams and all of these guys out there. Love Cameron Curl, but number one safety in the NFL money. I know every time a new guy gets signed, you reset the market. And I know every time Cameron Curl was hurt last year or didn't play for us, other than that Cowboys game, the final game of the season, our defense was night and day difference. It was just terrible without him, great with him. I mean, even just Derek Forrest specifically. With Cameron Curl on the field, Derek Forrest looked like a potential all-pro. Like, we just got the biggest steal of the draft a couple of years ago. But then when Cameron Curl wasn't out there, he was letting the most important player on the 49ers, George Kittle, run completely free, wide open, as if anybody you need to cover is him, and then you worry about everybody else afterwards. I don't know why Cameron Curl has that much of an impact on everybody on this defense. I understand why our defense looks better with him than without him, but for it to be that large of a gap in like very specific things like that, where it's like Derek Forrest, obviously George Kittle needs to be a priority. I don't know why you need Cameron Curl next to you out there for you to realize that. But either way, Cameron Curl has this irreplaceable impact on this defense and this team in general. I mean, he literally nets wins for this team. That Detroit Lions game, that Jaguars game, 49ers, any game that Cameron Curl was not out there, it was just like, do we honestly even have a top 5, top 10 defense like we thought? Then when he's out there, we're like, oh yeah, this could be one of the best defenses in the NFL. And there's a lot of factors that play into that, but Cameron Curl is definitely one of the biggest ones. And then out of all defensive players that are aged 25 and under, Pro Football Focus has him graded as the highest one with a 91 overall grade. You have Max Crosby with a 90.6, Micah Parsons with a 90.5, Jack Jones with a 90.4, and Jeffrey Simmons with a plain old flat out 90. So Cameron Curl is the highest graded defensive player under the age of 26 out of the entire NFL, according to Pro Football Focus. But even getting away from grades real quick, and then we'll get back to statistics a little bit later as well from Pro Football Focus. But if we're just looking at the top rated safeties in the NFL, we're not doing a deep dive into statistics or anything. This is just who Pro Football Focus feels like are the best safeties in the NFL, regardless of grade. They have number 1, Ryan Neal from the Seattle Seahawks. And this isn't even based on like grades or anything, because the number 4 guy, Cameron Curl, is ranked under the number 3 guy in Tyrann Mathieu in this list, even though Cameron Curl has the higher grade. But either way, they have Ryan Neal number 1, Minkah Fitzpatrick number 2, can't argue against that. Tyrann Mathieu is number 3, and then Cameron Curl is the 4th best safety in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus from the 2022 regular season. They have Rodney McLeod as 5th from the Colts, Kevin Byard from the Tennessee Titans 6th, Kyle Hamilton from the Ravens as 7th, Atlanta product man, Kyle Duggar from the New England Patriots 8th, Antoine Winfield Jr. from the Buccaneers 9th, and Derwin James 10th from the Chargers. Jesse Bates under that, Taylor Rapp, then Eddie Jackson, Jordan Poyer, Jimmy Ward, Malik Hooker, which is crazy because I thought Malik Hooker fell off the face of the earth. I thought he had the potential to be one of the best safeties in the NFL coming out of Ohio State. Fell off the face of the earth for the Colts, and apparently he's starting to get himself back together for the Cowboys according to Pro Football Focus, but I haven't watched any of his tape to know. Then they have Budda Baker 17th, Marcus Williams for the Ravens 18th, Quandre Diggs, Justin Reed, Adrian Phillips, Deron Harmon, Justin Simmons, Marcus May, and then Andrew Adams. Again, they have Cameron Curl 4th above most of those guys we just listed. That's very interesting. And so, before we dive into statistics and really specific grades, I think it is noteworthy to point out the fact that, okay, Cameron Curl, still fairly underrated throughout most media circles, but Pro Football Focus is starting to take notice that this is one of the best safeties in the NFL. And if you can pay him long-term money now, before everybody acknowledges the fact that he's one of the best safeties in the NFL and he makes like a Pro Bowl, he gets voted All-Pro, we would love that. But if we could get the deal done before all of that, it could be a huge savings amount versus if we wait until after the 2023 season, going into the 2024 offseason to sign him long term. So we better jump on this now. we better go ahead and knock this out right now before this regular season starts, because I do feel like Cameron Curl is only getting better and better and better, and today's price will not be tomorrow's price. If we don't pay him this offseason, I'm pretty sure what we end up trying to pay him next offseason is going to be way more, and we're gonna wish that whatever he wanted this offseason, that we could get that price from him next season. We're gonna wish we could. But either way, we just need to go ahead and get that done. And speaking of him getting better and better and better, I think one really interesting part about him, first of all, the fact that he's a 7th round pick, 216th overall in his draft class. That's insane. But as far as getting better and better, I think one thing that's really noteworthy, and this may be somewhat on Pro Football Focus's like margin of error, maybe they just didn't pay as much of attention to him because he was a 7th round pick, but in 2020 he had a 68.4 overall grade. In 2021 he had a 69.4 overall grade, and at the end of the 2022 season he had an 82.9. So he's literally one of those guys that's just getting better and better and better, and we hope he continues that trajectory. We hope he keeps getting better, but can we go ahead and pay him now before he gets even better, and then he gets to the point where everybody, even the guys on NFL Network and even guys like Stephen A. Smith, know his name? Those people that don't really watch film like that and only talk about the most household names. If Cameron Curl gets to that point and he's on First Take getting interviewed and stuff like that, oh, it's over with. The money he's asking for is something we can't even afford at this point. So can we please pay him before then? And so again, he's just been getting better and better each year according to Pro Football Focus. But even with my eyes, I agree. Just based off of watching him since what he looked like in his 2020 season as a rookie, when Ron Rivera was hyping him up in training camp and saying, man, this guy never makes the same mistakes. Watch out for this Cameron Curl kid. Ron Rivera was right, man. This man has been different, and again, most importantly, getting better every year. I can expect the same going into 2023. Really excited about what he's going to be. But also, don't forget, this guy is super versatile as well, man. According to Pro Football Focus, he had 439 passing snaps, 288 rushing snaps, which really doesn't affect anything. I just wanted to let y'all know that. But the thing I really wanted to get to was the fact that according to them, he had 41 snaps at D-line, 368 snaps in the box, 112 snaps as slot corner, 17 snaps as a wide corner, and then 189 snaps as a free safety. This man is literally everywhere doing everything. If you want to talk about his main priorities and objectives, is playing in the box, which is what he does the most, but then slot corner and free safety are third and second. But he also blitzes and goes after the quarterback sometimes. I mean, this guy is just so useful and versatile. Whatever you need, if you want to draft a certain player because you're really high on them and you want them to fill a certain role, well then great. Cameron Curl can do the other thing. Like, say if you don't know how you're going to replace Bobby McCain in the slot, I mean, when in doubt, Cameron Curl can do that. But if you do end up bringing somebody in that can start in the slot, or Danny Johnson steps up, or whoever is already on this team, somebody steps up in the slot, Percy Butler, whatever, then Cameron Curl can do something else wherever that need is. That's why Cameron Curl is so important to this defense, because no matter the need in the secondary, you can just ask him to do it, and you can focus on getting the best player possible for the other things. You start with, okay, we know what Cameron Curl can do, we'll assign him last. Let's get the best player available that we can get our hands on in the draft is really good at this. So we're going to get him to do that, and then get Cameron Curl to do the other thing. You see how that makes you a way better team in the long run? Because now you're putting the best players on the field possible, rather than if Cameron Curl wasn't that versatile and all he could do was play in the slot, now you feel a need to reach for a guy that could play in the box or something like that, or any one of those other things that Cameron Curl can do. Now you're reaching for an average guy just to fill a need, rather than getting the best player available and asking Cameron Curl to do the other thing that that guy can't do. I hope I explained it well enough, but that's just how important Cameron Curl is to this team, man. You just can't make this stuff up, and you just don't find guys like this in the 7th round. You literally don't. And just to let you know, to go back, if you wanted to know his grades from the 2022 season, period, 82.9 overall, 80.5 run defense, 80.8 coverage, and a 61 pass rush, which isn't bad. And he was the second highest graded safety according to Pro Football Focus. The only person above him was Kyle Hamilton with an 87.6. And again, with him being second with only Kyle Hamilton above him, that means Cameron Curl has a higher grade than all of those other great safeties in the NFL, most notably like a Minkah Fitzpatrick. So yeah, man, I definitely want to go ahead and get Cameron Curl knocked out of the way as soon as possible, definitely before this 2023 season starts, because again, I feel like he's just gonna ball out and he's going to be able to stay healthy. The defense around him is going to be so great, so he's not having to overdo things and take up for a lot of other people's deficiencies. He's just going to step up, only have to do what he needs to do, which is going to allow him to be better at the things that he's doing because he's having to worry about less things, because Derek Forrest is going to get better. Benjamin St-Juste is going to stay healthy. This defensive line is going to be dominant. The linebackers hopefully will step up and things like that. And I can't wait to see who we also pick up in the draft to make his job easier as well. So I'm thinking Cameron Curl is going to have, at the very least, a Pro Bowl level season. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out there and looks like an all-pro. This guy is different. Pro Football Focus sees it, but a lot of the national media don't yet. Us Commanders fans see it, but other people are soon going to find out, man. And hopefully we pay him before then, because that price is going to skyrocket at that point. And maybe what his dad said that he's asking for will become a reality if we wait too long. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Do you want to go ahead and pay Cameron Curl as soon as possible before this 2023 season starts? Or do you want to challenge him and let him go out there for another season, this full 2023 season, and then try to pay him in the 2024 season to see if he stepped up and earned it? Again, you already know what side I'm on. Pay him today. I want to go to sleep tonight knowing that Cameron Curl is on contract for the next 3-4 years. I know it's not going to happen, but I can dream, and it's just music to my ears to hear through John Com that the Commanders are prioritizing getting them signed long term. It's just a few things in a way right now. But yeah, man, please leave a like on this video if you liked it and learn anything. And as always, man, I appreciate all the support, man. Shouts out to all of my sponsors, especially my Pro Bowl sponsors whose names scrolling on the screen right now. I'm going to catch y'all later. I'm out.